It's Sunday night dirt racing on the mile at DuQuoin State Fairgrounds in Southern Illinois. Race number 16 in the ARCA Menards Series, the Performance Seed Dirt Double as we celebrate Labor Day weekend. How about glad you're along? Brent Stover alongside Phil Parsons. The dominant story all season long, the 17-year-old William Sawalich, as he continues to win, he continues to climb, Phil, into some rarefied air.
Yeah, I was joking with his crew chief, Matt Ross, this week that prior to the race at Milwaukee, I kind of set the bar at him getting 10 wins because that is that rarefied air that you're talking about. And lo and behold, he goes out in Milwaukee in his 10th start of the year and gets win number 7. This is how he did it. We had Connor Zilic in the field that had won 4 ARCA races prior to that race, so we thought it was going to be a heavyweight battle, but no, William Sawalich was dominant. He got to win 7 wins in 10 starts for that young man, so 10 wins is definitely a possibility for them, and it's only happened just a few times in the modern era. Here they are right here. Tim Steele did it a couple times. Our 10-time champion Frank Kimmel did it twice as well. And then last, 2021 and 23, we got it with Ty Gibbs and Jesse Love. William Sawalich is only going to make 14 starts this year, and I think he can do it. He has 4 more starts. He's got to get 3 more wins, and maybe the first one will come tonight.
Yeah, here tonight he looks to make it 5 straight wins in terms of races he's been able to take part in. But Brent Cruz is also going to be on the front row with the 18 tonight, and Brent Cruz is a guy that finished second in this race last season.
Yeah, Brent Cruz is an accomplished young 16-year-old racer. He actually won the dirt race last year at Springfield. William Sawalich finished 5th in both dirt races last year. Those are the 4th worst finishes in his ARCA career, but obviously he turned that around at Springfield this year. He's got a great chance to get that Performance Seed Dirt Double money, and Brent Cruz is going to be all the competition he can handle.
The 18 and the 20 on the front row. More to come from the Performance Seed Dirt Double right after this. ARCA Menards Series racing on FS1 is brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards. And by Bounty. Bounty, the quicker picker-upper. Back in DuQuoin, Illinois at the State Fairgrounds. The Performance Seed Dirt Double from DuQuoin on the 1-mile oval dirt track as we get set to go. Race number 16 of 20. As we take a look at tonight's Sioux Chief fast track driver, it's Chris Wright, the number 15 FNB Corporation Toyota.
Yeah, Chris has really done a nice job here, really getting some consistency. 7 top 10s in a row coming into this race. You see he had his best career finish of 2nd at Talladega. He moved his way up to 3rd in points, certainly within striking distance right now of 2nd in points, but he's right now the guy leading the way for Venturini on the full-time basis.
And Venturini needs a big night here tonight. It has not been the type of season that Billy and company have gotten accustomed to down through the years. So Chris Wright is looking for a good one in that number 15 car here tonight. So we'll see how he does. Got Taylor Reimer in the field as well as we look at the points in the top 10. And right now, quite frankly, it's a one-man show with Andres Perez in the 2 car at the top, Phil.
Yeah, Andres has really almost a full race over his teammate LeVar Scott. LeVar Scott has been showing some really good consistency here lately. A little bit of a struggle to start the season. That's why he finds himself 46 points behind. But we mentioned that Chris Wright now has opened up a little gap over Christian Rose in the battle for 3rd, and certainly 2nd is not out of the question for Chris Wright with 5 races remaining this season.
Christian Rose has had a nice, consistent season. Did go through a stretch of 3 or 4 races where they battled some engine issues, but consistently in the top 5 and the top 10 every time out there for AM Racing and Christian Rose in that 32 car.
It'd be kind of an amazing statistic for Andres Perez. He realized that he races the NASCAR Mexico Series relatively full-time. He runs all the races that he can. He's already won a race this year, and he's qualified for their playoffs. They have their regular season finale this weekend, and then they will start their playoffs. So he could actually win 2 championships in the same season in different countries.
Yes, pretty impressive stuff, and he's an impressive young man. Still looking for that first win, but man, he's got a host of second-place finishes and top 5 for Andres Perez in the 2. As he leads the points as we hit the final stretch of the season here in the ARCA Menards Series in 2024. Well, tonight's Rookie Spotlight brought to you by Bounty's. Michael Maples in the number 99 Maples Motorsports Chevrolet. Not often you find a rookie that is 60 years of age, but a pretty cool story here for Maples.
Yeah, he's really been solid. He started racing years ago and then kind of took about 20 years off to try to figure out how to make a living. And then just fulfilled a lifelong dream to come back here and do this full time. He's piled up. He's got like 7 top 15 finishes. So really doing a nice job. This is in concert with Andy Hillenberg, Fast Track Racing. So Michael Maples is looking to possibly get that first top 10 here. Again, he's got more of a dirt background than he does a pavement background. So it should be a decent night for him.
So he's good on dirt. So too is William Sawalich in the 18. And we saw that with his dominance in the other dirt track race just a few weeks ago at Springfield from Sawalich.
The first race of the Performance Seed Dirt Double from Springfield. William Sawalich brings us down for the start.
I gotta be first.
William Sawalich has led all the way.
I'm being first. I've been through the dirt.
Checkered flag for William Sawalich, who leads every lap to get the win at Springfield.
We had good speed. I think I just had to be a little more comfortable with the dirt.
I've been through the dirt.
And Sawalich goes for 5 straight wins over his last 5 starts right here tonight. And these are the men that have been able to sweep the dirt races since '83.
Yeah, it's been a long time since it happened. You see, Park Klugerman was the last guy to do it back in 2009. And there's a lot on the line here. If William Sawalich can go and win both these dirt races, it pays now $20,000 to do that. And that's a big number for these ARCA teams.
He was impressive in practice and qualifying as well, just like he has been in every race that he's been in this season. And again, at 17 years of age, hasn't been able to run all of the tracks. So this is what it's all about with that $20,000 bonus that you discussed.
Yeah, if nobody wins that, they're still going to give out a good bit of money, $7,500 for the guy with the best average.
Let's go trackside for tonight's command of fire engines.
Your time on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
And with that, the engines are fired. The General Tire Pole Award was won just a short time ago, about an hour ago, by William Sawalich in the number 18 Starkey Sound Gear Toyota. Nothing new for the 18 to get the pole position.
Yeah, we talk about his 7 wins and 10 starts. Well, this is the 11th time he's qualified. And believe it or not, that's his 9th pole in 11 starts. So what a amazing young career for this 17-year-old. He's going to turn 18 at some point this year. And then that'll be after our ARCA Menards season ends, though. But he will run some Xfinity races towards the end of the year. And that's going to be fun to watch as well.
And with that, we take a look at the Performance Seed Dirt Double from DuQuoin. Starting grid with Sawalich and Brent Cruz on row 1. We mentioned Cruz with a very good dirt background, finished second this race a year ago. On row 2, it's Kelly Kofsky. I know you're pretty high on him. And Andres Perez, of course, the points leader.
Yeah, Kelly Kofsky has 30-some career starts, and all but 2 of them have been on dirt, either Springfield or DuQuoin. Had a top 5 finish earlier this year at Springfield.
Wright and Scott, row 3. Row 4, Will Kimmel, Taylor Reimer as well.
Will Kimmel third in this race last year. Taylor Reimer with a great third-place run, making history at Springfield with her teammate Isabella Robusto, both finishing in the top 3.
Dale Quarterly in the 4. Chevrolet and Christian Rose in that Ford. Row 7, Tim Monroe and Cody Dennison.
Yeah, Tim Monroe just piles up the top 10 finishes on these 2 dirt tracks here in the ARCA Menards Series.
Tony Breidinger looking for a good finish here tonight. Starts on row number 8.
Brayton Laster had 3 top 10 finishes last year driving this 31 car.
Brad Smith and Dalen Hairston, row 10.
Yeah, Dalen Hairston's going to make his debut. He's got a bit of a dirt background as well. He's been a crew member for Andy Hillenberg for 3 years, and now he's getting his chance to drive.
Row 12, Alex Clubb. Final car on the starting grid as we get set for leg number 2 on the Performance Seed Dirt Double here in Southern Illinois. We'll check in for the first time tonight, trackside with Heather DeBow. Good evening, Heather.
And Taylor Reimer is coming off of that historic finish at Springfield where she podiumed at 3rd place next to her Venturini Motorsports teammate Isabella Robusto. And I talked to her about that special moment and said, how cool was that for you? And she said, it definitely was a career high moment for me. However, what's more important is how much I improved from my first start in a stock car last year at Springfield to that race just a few weeks ago. But she said this track is going to be difficult. It's going to be a little more tricky. There's a lot more character. So navigating the bumps that have developed over the day is going to be what Taylor Reimer is working on, but she does have confidence because she was fastest in practice, guys.
Heather, thanks. We'll hear from Heather DeBow from pit road all night long here in Southern Illinois. We alluded to it. 2024 has not been a great year for Venturini Motorsports.
Yeah, they got the big win to start the season off at Daytona with Gustine, and Jake Finch led every lap to that victory at Talladega. But those are the only 2 wins you can see here over the last few years. 13 wins back in 2019, 11 last year with Jesse Love getting 10 of those plus the championship. So it's been a bit of a dry spell, but they have an excellent opportunity here, especially with Brent Cruz and Taylor Reimer, as well as Chris Wright.
Tony Breidinger as well. And for Breidinger, Isabella Robusto is going to spot for her, and she's been struggling, as we know, ever since the Michigan race. Several weeks back, Breidinger has with a foot issue, and so she does have some issues tonight. Robusto is there to get into a racing suit like Superman and get in the car.
Yeah, Tony burned her foot back at Michigan, and for those of us drivers that have had that happen, once it starts burning, you know it's burning, but there's nowhere else you can put your foot, so it just stays there the rest of the race and cooks, and she's been dealing with that. Hopefully she'll be okay and be able to get the whole 100 miles in.
Coming to green this time around, Leg 2 Performance Seed Dirt Double from DuQuoin. Labor Day weekend, Sunday night dirt track on the 1 mile oval. Pole position on the inside, the 18 of William Sawalich. On the outside, the 20 of Brent Cruz. Green flag in the air, and we are racing. Good start for the 18 Sawalich on the inside.
How about Brent Cruz fighting back on the outside, has a bit of an edge up off the second corner.
Cruz trying to grab the early advantage, and he does. Out in front of William Sawalich down the back stretch, lap number 1.
I'm not sure if anybody saw that coming other than Brent Cruz, said, I've got a little bit of grip out here on the outside. Look at Andres Perez. He's going to try to make the move on the outside. That white number 2, not able to do it this time.
So Brent Cruz will lead lap 1. And that has been the story throughout the year. Does anybody in any of these races have anything for the 18? And Brent Cruz making an early statement here tonight.
Great racing, though, back for the 3rd spot. They were 3 wide for a moment. Andres Perez has that 3rd spot, that white number 2, and then Kelly Kofsky, the white number 16 there in 4th.
LeVar Scott rounding out the top 5, and Will Kimmel and Chris Wright. Taylor Reimer runs 8th.
Remember, we watched the race at Springfield, and those drivers were right against the inside wall all night for that race. You can see these drivers up off the bottom of the racetrack.
Sawalich had led all but 3 laps in his last 2 starts, so he's going to have to come from behind here tonight.
Okay, track officials have done a really good job with this racetrack. They had so much rain here yesterday, and this racetrack doesn't appear to show it at all. There's Will Kimmel, good shot of Will. Had to skip the DuQuoin race, the Springfield race, but he finished 3rd in this race last year. 2 starts this year in the ARCA Menards Series at Salem, I believe, and at Charlotte. 4th place finishes in both, so looking for another run here, another good run here.
16 there, Akowski. Battle for 4th with LeVar Scott right on him.
I love these long, mild dirt tracks here on the ARCA Menards Series. I grew up going to the Michigan State Fairgrounds. They had a mild dirt track, much like this racetrack, as well as Springfield, and that was so much fun to watch.
Which one is more challenging between DuQuoin and Springfield to race?
I think this racetrack, it looks to me like it's a little bit wider than what we saw at Springfield, so hopefully they'll be able to get some side-by-side racing. You see Brent Cruz, our leader, up off the bottom, as well as William Sawalich.
Looks like maybe it's a little bit too slick down on the very bottom of the racetrack through the first half of the corner. For me, they were all the dirt tracks were very challenging. I didn't do a whole lot of dirt track racing in my career. Did more of it barnstorming than anything, than any regular dirt track racing, but it's such a different discipline.
Working lap 5 early on here at DuQuoin. Brent Cruz has led them all. Points leader Perez in 3rd. The hottest driver on the circuit this season, Sawalich, runs 2nd. It is Joe Gibbs Toyota.
Nice job early on by Sawalich to hang with Brent Cruz. So much more dirt experience Brent Cruz has than does William Sawalich. But we talked about the season that William Sawalich has had here in the ARCA Menards Series. One for the record books for sure.
You talked about in the Open the opportunity to get 10 wins. He looks for 5 straight here tonight. And when we talk about dominance, Phil, it's not just winning races, but it's leading the entire race in certain situations, if not all but 3 or 4 laps.
Yeah, he's led over 2/3 of the laps, potential laps that he's competed in this year. That's how dominant he's been. And oh, by the way, we talk about the $20,000 that he's up for winning these 2 dirt races. If he can sweep them, as we see a great battle for 4th with Kofsky and LeVar Scott. I got a text from Frank Kimmel, wants to know if they're going to go back retroactively and pay for the guys that did that sweep, because he did it so many times. I said, yeah, probably so, Frank.
Kofsky holding on to 4th ahead of LeVar Scott. Lap number 8 here in Southern Illinois on the dirt. Back at DuQuoin under caution. Brent Cruz has led all the laps, and moments ago was Austin Vaughn spinning right in front of our leader.
Yeah, tough moment for our leader. Let's take a look at this replay here. See, that's him right there. That's our leader, Brent Cruz. Watch the white car on the outside right in front of Brent. He's going to lose it off of turn 2 here. Does a nice job getting that car to the inside. That's Austin Vaughn making his debut. Just turned 16 a month ago, and fortunately was able not to get in the way and have any contact from any other vehicles.
From Burnsville, Mississippi, and his Peterson Motorsports Toyota. Wayne Peterson, the owner of that 06 car. Working lap 12. Well, we talked throughout the race about our Reese's Sweet move of the race. Potential winners of that. It's not often we get one right off the bat, but Brent Cruz is going to be up there when the dust settles.
Thought he was going to be at a bit of a disadvantage being on the outside. As you can see him, he's up there sideways, sliding in the little bit of looser dirt, but he gets enough grip to get around the 18 of Sawalich. And I think the last time we saw somebody pass Sawalich was about 1983, it seems like. But a nice move by Brent Cruz to grab that lead.
Right around the time you won Talladega, Phil.
Yeah.
It's at ARCARacing.com on Monday, 3 Eastern time, to see who's crowned Reese's Sweet move of the race.
Makes me wonder on this restart, will Brent Cruz take the outside? He was able to grab that initial lead from the outside. It'll be interesting to see. Remember, in the ARCA Menards Series, only the leader has lane choice. Everybody else has to fall in line.
Backstretch, 3 inches of rain. You alluded to it. So poured that inside retaining wall, a lot of mud, and the 06 is stuck in that mud. Some work to do under caution. Lap 13 at DuQuoin. What a game to open the season, the NFL. We'll see how your Lions do after a huge season last year.
Yes, it was so much fun.
Well, here at DuQuoin, lap 16. Points leader is that 2 car, and with more on him, it's back down to Heather.
And Andres Perez and his Rev Racing teammate LeVar Scott, they actually went to the DuQuoin State Fair today, and guess what? He already won a race today. That's right. Andres Perez was picked out of the crowd to represent a pig in a pig race. Number 4 went to victory lane. He now is riding shotgun, his little stuffed animal trophy of that pig, in that number 2. He's hoping it'll bring him some good luck and get him his first career victory here today in the ARCA Series.
Fantastic. Great story.
There's the pig. There's the pig. Love that. Number 4, the pig number 4.
Coming to green this time around. Perez running solidly in the top 4.
See, Brent Cruz did take the outside. Going to try to parlay what he learned on that initial start here and hold off that 18 of Sawalich.
Pace car pulls off. We go back under green here at DuQuoin with Cruz having led all the laps so far and noses out in front of the 18 from the outside.
How about Kelly Kofsky? Look at him sticking his nose up beside of Sawalich in a battle for second.
Sawalich trying to protect second. Kofsky gets around him and into second.
Yeah, Kelly Kofsky is not somebody to be ignored when we come to these dirt tracks. Sawalich is fighting back on the inside, though.
Door to door, off the turn. They slide the 18 on the inside. Sawalich trying to get his spot back. 3 wide.
Well, Perez thought about making it 3 wide for a moment. Good battling here. Brent Cruz is loving these guys racing side by side.
So Cruz out to a 1.3 second lead on Sawalich. And Kofsky and Perez all battling. It's Kofsky in second, then Sawalich, then Perez.
Yeah, LeVar Scott, Will Kimmel right in this battle as well. You see Will Kimmel, that red car, trying to get to the inside of LeVar Scott. See, the groove has definitely moved up. There are a couple lanes off the inside guardrail. That's where the grip is.
Sawalich has not been outside the top 2 since Elko 3 starts ago.
Remember, he was leading and he got wrecked by a lap car and had moved all the way back to the tail end of the lead lap and had to fight his way back and ended up winning that race by about 6 inches.
That was an awesome race. About a month ago at Elko, that was the last time he didn't run in the top 2. Cruz, then Kofsky, then Sawalich. Perez trying to nose in there and steal third from the 18.
See Will Kimmel sticking right with LeVar Scott. Will's in that red car. Infrequent competitor here now in the ARCA Menards Series, but always good on these dirt races. We mentioned earlier 2 4th-place finishes this year at Charlotte and at Salem. 3rd place in this race here last year. Will also has a runner-up finish here back in 2018. 3 runner-up finishes in his career. Hasn't got to victory lane yet, but one of his 3 second-place finishes came right here.
He runs 6th. LeVar Scott is in 5th. Talked about Kimmel, the 69 car running 6th. Here's Heather.
And I talked to Will Kimmel just before this race started, and he told me that in practice they actually lost an axle seal in the gear, so he didn't get a lot of time on track today. But he said this track is going to change throughout this race. It changed a lot already today, but they said they were just a little bit behind the wheel of where they wanted to be as far as being prepared. But he said he doesn't think they're bad, and he thinks he might have something for him tonight.
Currently 6th. Got to 5th.
And we will have a race break on or near lap number 50 where these teams will have 5 minutes to make whatever changes that they can make in those 5 minutes. Put fuel and tires on these cars. No live pit stops here at this racetrack. Really not an adequate pit road to do something like that.
This race generally goes by fairly quickly, so a sense of urgency here tonight for these cars.
And that 5-minute break is a great opportunity for these crew chiefs to make changes. And we've seen how these races have been affected by those changes that we've had during the race breaks, whether they be on dirt or asphalt.
That dirt packed on the front grill of the 6 car. How much of an issue does that become?
Well, normally we always take the air in at the very bottom of that grill, but because of it, it gets packed so much with dirt that they take air into the radiator on the very top part of that grill front end fascia. Looks like, as you mentioned, that the 6 of LeVar Scott has that fairly plugged up here. And these engines, these Ilmor engines, do not like temperature. And look at the 20th Brent Cruz, who hasn't been behind hardly anybody other than a few lap cars, and you see a very pristine top part of that front fascia above the Camry logo on that car. So he shouldn't have any issues as far as overheating, but we've definitely seen overheating issues on these dirt tracks over the years.
20's been in clean air all night. Lap 25, a quarter of the way through this race already. We had a caution early on in the race. The 06 Austin Vaughn spun out, then got stuck in the mud. And there's Cruz now. He has built a nearly 5-second lead.
He's trying to make his way around lap cars. That's Michael Maples, we talked about, in the 99 car rookie here this season. That will definitely take a toll on that lead. You can see the lead now is already back down as they cross the start finish line, back below 4 seconds in the time it takes to get around these lap cars. But again, so will Kelly Kopsky and William Sawalich. They'll have to go through these same lap cars that Brent Cruz just did. Right now, this 18 of Sawalich has got the 2 of Andres Perez right on his rear bumper in that battle for third.
Sawalich running third right now, and we talked about just the way he's had a stranglehold on races, and you alluded to this. Sawalich led all 200 laps at Salem, led 104 of 105 at Springfield, 148 of 150 at Milwaukee, and again at Elko, 150 of 250. So he didn't lead 100 of them, but he led the final one after he got wrecked.
See, Dale Porter, it looks like he's made contact. He was running in the 10th spot. He definitely has damage to the right side. I would guess that he probably got into another car or a wall. You see the right front tire down, and both right side tires are down on Quarterly's car.
Safely down pit road for the 4. We stay under green on lap 28 with Cruz out front.
Good battle for second here. You see Perez is going to get to the inside of Sawalich. Saw a car right behind this battle smoking pretty heavily as we got down into turn 1.
More on the 18, back down to Heather.
And we talked about William Sawalich and his dominance at Springfield earlier. I asked him, he admittedly will tell you, I do not like these dirt races. And even though he dominated at Springfield, he told me it really depends on how the track conditions are and how his driving style is. When it rubbers down, it's more like an asphalt track. But he told me when it gets dusty like it is right now, he's going to be in trouble. As we're seeing, he's struggling just a little bit.
Trying to haul it off the hard-charging 2-car of Andres Perez.
Yeah, a lot of these racetracks can get to the point, and Springfield did that, where it races almost exactly like a paved track. And that's where the guys with less dirt experience really don't have as much of an issue. But this racetrack tonight is looking so far like it's racing like a dirt track. And that's why we see the guys with a lot of dirt experience, Brent Cruz and Kelly Kopsky, right now running first and second.
That was the 69 that smoking earlier in the race.
Talk about that mud. You see, it looks like his grill is completely covered as well, Brent, and that could be an issue for Will Kimmel. Now, Will will not be running one of those Ilmor engines. He probably has what we call a legacy engine, which is an OEM, a Ford engine. But I tell you, that smoke, and we've got 20 more laps to go before we see that race break around lap 50. So Will's going to have to keep an eye on that water temperature gauge and make sure that doesn't get too high.
The 69 runs 6th, Will Kimmel. Brent Cruz has been out front. Lap 31 at DuQuoin. Lap 36, the 20 car. Brent Cruz has led them all here at DuQuoin State Fairgrounds in Southern Illinois. Performance seed dirt double, leg number 2. Cruz has got a 5.5-second lead on Kelly Kopsky, another great dirt racer. Sawalich is in third.
Yeah, that battle is behind them, though. You see Sawalich, LeVar Scott. Perez was trying to get by Sawalich during the commercial break, wasn't able to do it, ended up costing him a spot to his teammate LeVar Scott. Now move LeVar Scott up to the 4th spot.
Sawalich has only one finish outside the top 3 in this 2024 campaign, and he's led in all 10 of his starts this year. He's yet to lead a lap so far tonight.
That was Sean Core, that yellow number 8 car. He is now the first car 1 lap down. If the caution were to come out now, he would get the free pass. But Tim Monroe, as you can see, running in the 10th spot left side of your screen, number 12 is the next car to go a lap down. And we must say during the commercial break that Will Kimmel, that overheating issue, I think, got the best of him. He pulled back behind the wall. See Kelly Kofsky, heavy traffic right there. Look at Sawalich. Look at trying to get by these lap cars as he's trying to get by Kelly Kofsky in a battle for second. Little contact, and is that LeVar Scott that pulled up as well? Both of them got by Kelly Kofsky. No, there's Kelly out there in front of Sean Core. That's Kelly, the white car in front of them. But a great battle for third on back with Sawalich, Scott, and Perez.
A high leverage situation getting around that lap car there. Way off the pace. Perhaps a sweet move of the race right there, getting around the lap car. The 18 on the inside here, Phil.
There's not enough room on the inside, so he's going to move around the outside of the 8, or try to get around the 18. That was Kelly Kofsky was trying to get around. Kelly had some free, clean racetrack on the outside and was able to squirt back out and grab that second spot back. But a nice attempt it passed by William Sawalich.
Visit ARCARacing.com Monday, 3 Eastern, to see who's crowned sweet move of the race by Reese's.
There's that 3-way battle right there for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Ooh, look at Perez. Got hung up on the outside of Sean Core. Lost a lot of ground to that battle. You see the windshield on LeVar Scott. The windshield tear off was starting to come off that car. That could be bad if that windshield tear off folds over in front of the driver, LeVar Scott.
So he's dealing with that issue. 2 car got shuffled up the track. Lap traffic, a lot going on.
Back down in the groove now. Again, we're going to have there's that tear off we were talking about. If that thing blew off, that would be fine for LeVar Scott, but it could go on the front grille of somebody else's car, and that would cause immediate overheating issues. If he can hold on, if that tear off will stay on there for another 10 laps or so, then the team will be able to remove that during that break.
Race break scheduled for lap 50. His lap times are on pace of the leader Cruz. 6 of LeVar Scott runs in 4th. Perez got shuffled back to 5th.
Not far behind Perez is the 55 of Taylor Reimer. We talked about the great job she did earlier this year at Springfield, finishing the 3rd spot. Again, dirt is her background, open wheel dirt midget. She won an Extreme Outlaw midget race, the first female ever to win a National Series race. There she is right there in that 55 car. She's getting her feet wet on pavement, running some races right around the Charlotte, North Carolina area at Hickory and Tri-County. She's got a couple wins already under her belt, so making the quick transition to pavement, but this is more in her wheelhouse right here on dirt.
Got some talented women in the ARCA Menards Series. A woman has never won a National Series race in ARCA, but it's only a matter of time. You got Breidinger, you got Taylor Reimer, Amber Balkin, some talented young women in the series here in 2024. Lap 43, it's Cruz by 6.5 seconds.
You talk about the ladies we had at that race at Springfield. Taylor Reimer finishing 3rd, Isabella Robusto 2nd. All 4 of our ladies in the field, all driving for the Venturinis, all finishing in the top 10. So what an amazing performance by the ladies at Springfield.
Reimer in the 55, just outside the top 5.
It's Cody Dennison, the 11th car. She's making her way around. Cody right now is running in the 14th position. A few laps in arrears. I tell you, you can get lapped quick on a dirt track like this if you're struggling. There's really nowhere to hide.
Yeah. And Rose is a lap down. He's the first car a lap down. So 8 cars on the lead lap here. Lap 45 closing in on our scheduled race break at or near the midpoint.
See, Amber Balkan right now is the last car on the lead lap with about 5 laps to go before this race break. Hopefully for Christian Rose, she can stay on the lead lap and Christian Rose could get that free pass. But, oh, caution.
Caution's out, our second in turn 1. And the 99 car has spun around, and that's Michael Maples.
That is going to be a break for Christian Rose. He will get the free pass. See, Michael Maples was running in the 12th spot, and Amber Balkan will be able to stay on the lead lap. So we're close enough to the lap 50 race break, and sometimes ARCA officials will say, okay, we're close enough now, we will call that the race break, but they will let these teams know in advance if that's going to be the case.
5-minute scheduled race break. Maples able to get it refired. The 60-year-old from Choctaw, Oklahoma. Best finish 11th at Berlin back in June. And currently 8th in ARCA Menards Series points.
Ooh, he gets it refired right in front of the pace car. That will save him a lap.
Beautifully done by Maples.
I've been keeping up with your White Sox.
Yes, you've been, yeah. It's really brought us together. You really saddled me with the Chicago White Sox.
I mean, I know you live there. I know you're not from there, but it seemed like we did a promo a few weeks ago, and you were so excited about the White Sox that I just figured that must have been your team.
They had lost 18 straight at that time, but they were getting ready to play the Cubs on Fox, which, as you know, is always a huge rivalry game.
Oh yeah. And I looked up some information for you.
I knew this was going
just so you wouldn't feel that bad. That they will not set the record for the most losses this year because the Cleveland Spiders in 1899 lost 134 games. So I think you're safe there.
The Cleveland Spiders. Only Phil Parsons. Only Phil Parsons can come up with that kind of a stat. It's much more than stock car racing with you, Phil. Caution on lap 47. Brent Cruz out front at DuQuoin.
Time for some good old-fashioned dirt track racing, this time at the DuQuoin State Fairgrounds.
ARCA is back on the dirt of DuQuoin.
Ooh, spin.
Trouble.
Couple of cars sliding around there in 3 and 4.
They trade paint going down the backstretch. Oh, and he gets it sideways. Dreams do come true in the ARCA Menards Series.
Nothing like it, dirt track racing on the Mile Oval at DuQuoin State Fairgrounds Labor Day weekend on a Sunday night here on FS1 in the ARCA Menards Series, race number 16 of 20, getting down to the final stretch of the season. Lap 48 had our race break a little earlier than first anticipated. That man has had a nice night running second. Kelly Kofsky with more. Here's Heather.
And we've talked about him being a dirt track racer. This is his 37th career start in the ARCA Series. All of them have been on dirt. He has 3 top 5s here at this racetrack in particular, but I talked to him at Springfield actually, and he's 43 years old, and he said, I will not race past 45. So his goal is to get a win in the next 2 years. But as far as his handling on his race car goes, he was getting really loose as the run went on, but he said, I still need to be a little bit loose just to get through traffic. So they went 2 rounds down on the track bar, 1 round out of the right rear. They also put some tape on the grill because the water was at 250, but his most important thing was he was frustrated with the lap traffic. So his spotter has been on the spotter stand working with some of those lap cars to be able to give him a little more room when he comes up on them to pass him.
Thanks, Heather. That's been a bit of an issue over the first half of this race.
I want to know what's wrong with 45.
Exactly what I was going to say.
I don't know why he's got to stop at 45.
Yeah, maybe he'll change his mind. I mean, Maples is age 60, and
right?
he was our bounty rookie spotlight tonight.
And I don't know why, but Kelly Kofsky can obviously still do it, so I don't know why he wants to put that limit on himself. And now how about Brent Cruz taking the inside for this restart. Remember, he got the lead from the outside at the initial start and then kept the lead from the outside on that restart, Heather.
Well, you guys are wondering why he doesn't want to race past 45. Well, he has 2 young kids. His son also races quarter midgets, so he just wants to spend more time with his family at that point. So he's given himself 2 more years to get it done before he focuses on the kids racing.
Ah, there we go. All right, thank you. We cleared that up.
All right.
We're trying to make him not be a family man. You know, he's just trying to be a family man. Good for him. That's awesome. Hopefully he can get a win before that age limit comes. Perhaps it'll come here tonight. So you said it on the last restart. It was Cruz taking the outside. He's going to take the inside here.
A lot of issues on with the tear off for that 6 car, LeVar Scott, though.
It's still there, flapping in the breeze. Back under green. Cruz on the inside. Kovska on the outside.
Actually jumped to the inside before they got to the start-finish line.
Wanted to protect that second position from the 18, but might not be able to do it. Sawalich is there.
I'm sure the ARCA officials will take a look at that. He certainly changed lanes before he got to the start-finish line. They may make some concessions because this is dirt and you don't have quite the grip that you do on pavement.
Quietly, Amber Balkan is having a nice night as we hit the midpoint of this race.
Great battle here for position with the 18 of Sawalich on the inside. LeVar Scott the 6. There's Chris Wright sticking his nose in here inside of Perez. First time we've seen Chris among this battle here for second on back.
He's on a hot streak. 7 consecutive top 10 finishes for that 15 car, including 7th at Springfield.
Watch this restart here. You see the 16 turn dead left here. Not sure exactly where that was relative to the start finish line. Actually, on that replay now, I'm thinking that might have been past the start finish line when he made that hard turn left. And we're hearing now that from the ARCA officials that restart is good. So that move must have come after the start finish line. There's no start finish line painted across the racetrack like we see at most of our paved tracks or all of our paved tracks.
Well, Kovski tried to come down and shut the door on the 18, but when the dust settled, Sawalich is back up into second place. And here's the battle for 4th with Scott, Wright, and Perez.
See, Perez is going to get to the inside of Chris Wright. Chris is way outside in the looser dirt. Perez has a little bit of a grip on the bottom. He's going to be able to grab that 5th spot back from Chris Wright. Look how high the groove has moved up. You know, that little video package we saw earlier from previous races at DuQuoin, you could see how rough that racetrack has been in the past. And again, we talked about all the rain that this racetrack got yesterday. And so what a great job the track officials have done having this racetrack in really raceable condition.
Lap 53, Cruz has led them all. Sawalich has moved back into second, restarted third. Kovski fell to third, then Scott 4th, Perez 5th.
Great battle right here for the 3rd spot. Kovski leads the 2 Rev Racing teammates of Scott and Perez, and Chris Wright, the 15, right there as well. I believe that's the 55 of Taylor Reimer that's right on the rear bumper of that 15 of Chris Wright. She's joined this battle. She right now runs in the 7th spot.
She's in 7th, Balkan's in 8th.
Brent Cruz is enjoying this battle for the 3rd spot.
Yeah, he is.
Sawalich is about 2 seconds behind Brent Cruz right now.
Cruz is checked out again to a 2.1 second lead. William Sawalich. He's going for his 5th straight win here tonight, but he's got work to do because Cruz has been the dominant car so far. He's led all the laps.
I love the fact that they're running up off the bottom of the racetrack. Cruz certainly has this figured out. He figured out on the initial start There's a gap back to our second place running William Sawalich, about 2.5 seconds back. And there's that slugfest for third back there, led by Kofsky.
Another 2.5 seconds between Sawalich and Kofsky, who's trying to hold off Scott and Perez. We talked about the 18, how good they are with adjustments, and it's been the same thing here tonight so far since that race break.
And that's going to be the last attempt that they get to work on these cars as we see this battle continue. There's our teammates from Rev Racing battling for that 4th spot. Got a lot of white cars in this battle.
A lot of them. They're getting less white as this race goes on.
Remember, if Sawalich does not go to victory lane, Performance Seed is still going to give away some money, going to be $7,500 to the guy that has the best average of these 2 races, average finish of these 2 races, and then $5,000 for second, $2,500 for third.
And that means the world for these teams.
Absolutely, it does.
Trying to make some of that money back. It is not cheap to come to these racetracks.
And Brent Cruz, obviously, with the fact that he did not run that race at Springfield, even though he won there last year, he had a rain-out Cars Tour race that he had to run. That's why Isabella Robusto got in that car and finished second. So he will not be eligible for this bonus because he didn't run both races, and his average finish is not going to be applicable.
Unfortunate. And Robusto is here tonight, spotting, as we mentioned earlier, for Tony Breidinger in the 25. Lap 59 of 100 at DuQuoin. Brent Cruz in the 20 out front. Back at DuQuoin, and the 2-car moves into 3rd place for the pass underneath the 16 just as we come back from break.
Drove it hard down in that corner. I wasn't sure that car was going to stick, but it certainly did. Give Andres Perez the 3rd spot now over Kelly Kofsky. Now Kofsky's under attack from the 15 of Chris Wright, who was able to get by LeVar Scott. Chris Wright now in the 5th spot.
15 car's been really good since the restart. Cruz continues to lead, then Sawalich, Kofsky follows Perez, who just made the pass on what could be a sweet move of the race.
Watch how hard he drives it down the corner here. I wasn't sure that car was going to stick. Yeah, that was actually the lap before. He drove it hard down in the corner. Great battle, though, for that 3rd position.
Ultimately got it done.
He did get it done.
Visit ARCARacing.com Monday 3 p.m. Eastern to see who's crowned Reese's sweet move of the race. You'll have to trust us. He eventually got it.
He did. Kelly Kofsky now has lost a couple more positions. He's under attack by Taylor Reimer in the 55. Kofsky back to the 6th spot. Taylor Reimer doing a nice job here. Pulls up beside Kofsky.
What do you see with that car? Is the 16 just loose?
Yeah, it just seems to have lost it again. Maybe it was a change during the break that didn't go the right direction or didn't go to Kelly's liking, but a solid 2nd place run going for Kelly Kofsky in that first half of the race, now all the way back to the 7th position.
Right off the restart after the race break, Sawalich was able to take 2nd from him. Then he was running in 3rd, and now suddenly finds himself back in 7th in that 16 car.
Kofsky's fighting back, gets to the inside of Reimer. He's going to grab that spot back. He's tired of us talking about him losing positions.
Kofsky back into the 6th position.
Kofsky's going to hold on to that spot. Taylor Reimer trying to go after him. They're losing a little bit of touch with the 5th place running LeVar Scott now. They've lost a couple, 2.5 seconds now to LeVar Scott. Just over 30 laps to go on this one.
Lap 69, clicking them off quickly. That's been the history here.
Kofsky has a few car links at hand right now.
There's the 12 car of Tim Monroe. He's a dirt track specialist, making his second start in 2024. All 5 of his career top 10 finishes have been on dirt, including 10th at Springfield a couple of weeks ago, and he has quietly moved into the top 10.
And that's only in 8 starts, too. So 5 top 10s and 8 starts. So outstanding job by Tim Monroe. He's in the free pass spot right now. You see Christian Rose, left side of your screen, is over 32 seconds behind. So it won't be long before Brent Cruz puts Christian Rose a lap down once again. But Tim Monroe doing a very credible job here, driving for Andy Hillenberg.
Finished 6th at DuQuoin back in 2021. Did that 12 car of Tim Monroe. 30 laps to go here at DuQuoin. Cruz has got a 6.6 second lead on Sawalich, then Perez, Wright, and Scott in the top 5.
Yeah, Kofsky and Taylor Reimer now have lost almost 5 seconds to that battle, with LeVar Scott right now holding down the 5th spot. There's that battle for 4th right there. Chris Wright, the 15, has that 4th spot. LeVar Scott, 6, going after him. Nice recovery. Nice, actually, second half of this race so far for Chris Wright. We mentioned 7 top 10s in a row coming into this one, trying to make it 8 in a row.
He's one of the hot cars out there over the last several weeks. Chris Wright driving for Venturini in that 15 car.
You know, dirt's such a different discipline than pavement that we're used to. You know, we see moisture on the racetrack on a paved track, and they're going to throw the caution flag. These drivers right now, a great battle. Look like Chris Wright got a little bit wide. Beautiful. LeVar Scott got that spot. These guys are looking for a little bit of moisture. There's grip in that moisture. That's why they're running so high. Again, this time of the night, too, you're going to get a little bit of dew falling on the racetrack, so you'll get a little bit of moisture, more so than you would have during the day.
Talk about the track changing. We're seeing it with 28 to go here in Illinois tonight, with Brent Cruz, then William Sawalich, and Andres Perez rounding out the top 3. Going to be sensational. 22 to go. Brent Cruz has led them all. Only once before has a driver led every lap at DuQuoin. That was Landon Lewis 3 seasons ago.
What an outstanding job Brent Cruz has done here in this Venturini car. I was talking to Billy a few weeks ago, and he certainly is aware of the struggles we talked about earlier in the show that the Venturinis have had compared to previous years. And he mentioned, he said, we're going to have Brent Cruz at DuQuoin. He said, I know that's going to be a great opportunity for us to get another win. And he's certainly right. With just over 20 laps to go, he is in command.
Circling back to what you talked about in the open, we led the show with William Sawalich going for 10 wins, rarefied air. If he doesn't win tonight, this gets a lot tougher for him to do, right?
Yeah, he's going to only have 3 starts left to get those 10 wins, and in one of those starts will be at Watkins Glen, and we will have Connor Zilich, who is one of the most talented young road racers we have probably in America right now. A 24 hours at Daytona winner, as well as a 12 hours at Sebring. Set on a pole, set a new track record at COTA in his first ever Truck Series start. So he'll be in the field. He finished second, dominated the race at Watkins Glen last year, and got moved out of the way in the rain on the last lap by Jesse Love. So Sawalich will have his hands full for sure with Connor Zilich, in addition to the other good racers we have here in the ARCA Menards Series.
And again, just to make that point that he can't run at Michigan. He's still 17, turns 18 really right after the season ends is when he turns 18.
Yeah, Kansas will be the race that he misses. Yeah, Michigan was the one he had missed, and the streak he has going right now of full wins for himself. Michigan was in the middle of that because he was not yet old enough to run there, and Connor Zilich took advantage of the fact that he had just turned 18 and went to victory lane in his first ever start in ARCA Menards Series on an intermediate track. Common theme we have here in ARCA Menards Series. Connor Zilich, William Sawalich.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. And having Jesse Love last season and his dominance, what a story that was, and what a job he's done, obviously, in the Xfinity Series this season.
Yeah, already a winner. Will make the playoffs. in the 2024 season. We have, I think, 3 races to go in the Xfinity Series before the playoffs start.
$18 to go. Cruz out front. 7.3 second advantage on Sawalich. Then Perez, Scott, and Wright. Kovsky has fallen to 6th since the restart.
So the 55 of Taylor Reimer holds down that 7th spot. There's Sawalich now. Andres Perez is chasing down William Sawalich. He's moved to within a second. There's that 55 of Taylor Reimer doing a nice job running in the 7th spot for Venturini Motorsports. You can see where the Venturini's cars are running. Again, all 5 of those cars up in the top 11. Tony just outside. Again, playing hurt with that burnt foot from Michigan right now, running in the 11th spot. And Amber Balkan doing a nice job running in the 8th spot.
Good bounce back night for Venturini here with 16 to go. Reimer in the 55 runs 7th.
Yeah, the battle is on, I believe, for that 2nd spot with Sawalich and Perez. There's our leader. Almost 8-second lead now for Brent Cruz. And I've been watching timing and scoring, and he is not backed off at all. He is still running some extremely fast lap times. That lap was about 36.09, which was only a half a second off what our pole winning speed was. And there's that battle for second we were talking about, Brent.
Sawalich and Perez, 2-car trying to pull up to his back bumper with 15 to go.
You mentioned earlier about all the 2nd place finishes that Perez has had, 5 in his career, his very short career. And I think right now nothing he would like more than to get another 2nd place finish if he can get by that 18 of Sawalich.
Exactly right.
You see, that's the 22 of Amber Balkan right in front of this battle. Amber's in the 8th spot, as we mentioned. She now is the first car 1 lap down. She is in the free pass position if the caution were to come out. Boy, Perez is not giving up. He's going after that 18 of Sawalich. And it's a moral victory. If you can get by that 18 car, as dominant as that car has been this year, I think you can feel really good about your night.
18 trying to get around that 22 of Amber Balkan.
It may be an opportunity. It might be an opportunity for Perez here, but Amber does a really nice job staying right against that inside guardrail, leaving these lead lap cars the outside. Tough break for the 2 of Perez. He actually caught her in a little bit of a tough spot there. You see how Sawalich gained 4 or 5 car lengths in that little exchange.
The 2 slid way high that time.
Nothing that Amber did wrong at all.
She kept it down low, but the 2 got high and lost some space between he and Sawalich. Back for the finish at DuQuoin, 12 to go. Can anybody make up anything on Cruz? ARCA Menards Series racing on FS1 is brought to you by General Tire. General Tire delivers the freedom to explore. And by Reese's. Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. Reese's Not Sorry. Brent Cruz in the closing laps has got the lead, trying to become the 3rd driver to lead every lap in a race here in 2024, joining Jake Finch, who led them all at Talladega, and William Sawalich, who led them all at Salem.
And he's not sorry either.
No, he's not. 6 to go. We've only had 2 cautions.
Oh, boy.
Tied for the fewest at DuQuoin going back to 2019.
Oh, boy.
If we did have a caution, it'd get awfully interesting. Right now, Cruz has got a more than 9-second lead on Sawalich.
And it would certainly be your fault.
Yes, it
for
would.
jinxing it.
Well, listen, I put it up for debate, and you told me I was allowed to give that note. You signed off on it. You co-signed.
I did for sure.
Cruz has been sensational. 2nd this race a year ago. So can't even, there's the caution.
I told you, Brent.
Our third caution of the night with 5 laps remaining.
Unbelievable. Oh, look at the damage.
And she is in the mud.
And stuck in the mud.
Amber Balkan in the 22.
Amber was running in the 8th spot.
Consistently top 8 all night too, and then late.
It looks like she's gonna be able to get it going, but look at all the damage to the front of that car. She might be able to continue.
She got out of there all right.
Yeah, she's having a little difficulty steering that car, though. I don't think it'll turn as hard to the left as she needs to. You can see a lot of damage to that left front suspension. That left front tire shouldn't be leaned out like it is. It'll lean out some, but that looks a little bit excessive. That's the last thing that certainly Amber wanted, obviously for her own race, as well as the fact that her teammate, one of her teammates was leading the race, and it was well at hand.
Yeah. So Cruz is going to have to really earn this thing. It always seems that somehow, some way, at the end, that 18 car is there. And here's Heather.
And in listening to the scanner conversation on the number 20 car of Brent Cruz, his crew chief Kevin Reed Jr. just said, "Hey buddy, you look good out there. How does it feel behind the wheel?" And he said, "I'm good." No complaints for the 20. Now on the 18, he said, William Sawalich, "I literally cannot turn this thing. Fans on or off, it does not matter." And his crew chief Matt Ross came over the radio and told him, "Stay aggressive. You can still win this thing." So look for the battle here between the 20 and 18 on this restart.
Maybe a heavyweight battle here for the end. It's going to be a shootout, and let's don't count out those guys back in row number 2 with Perez and LeVar Scott. If the two up front get tangling, you never know. So this one's a long way from over.
We've had 3 last lap lead changes at DuQuoin. Will we get one tonight? Perez looking for his first career win. Wright has been on a hot streak. Scott one of the top in points. Cruz the dominant car tonight. Sawalich the dominant car all season long.
It could get interesting here for sure. Taylor Reimer, running in 7th, was the recipient of the free pass. That gives us 7 cars now on the lead lap. You see those drivers down there trying to find some moisture, trying to cool off those tires a little bit. There's a lot of moisture down on the inside of the backstretch. There's some mud down there.
We've seen some mud down low on that backstretch indeed. This is getting interesting.
I think turn 1 and 2 is going to be the key. Yeah, obviously getting the launch. Brent Cruz is going to be the control car.
So here will be an overtime restart, and this is how we do it in the ARCA Menards Series. Unlimited attempts at a green-white checker finish.
Yeah, that means if we get a caution before they take the white flag, and then we will have another green-white checker, 2-lap finish. If we get a caution after the white flag is displayed, then it will be a 1-lap restart until we unlimited attempts at a 1-lap restart. And it would not surprise me to see multiple attempts at these restarts. There's that mud we were talking about down there. Perez moving down there to try to cool off those tires a little bit.
What more do you want? Labor Day weekend. Everybody's got the day off tomorrow. We can stay here as late as we need to go at DuQuoin.
We have no curfew.
No curfew.
It's fair week.
It is. DuQuoin State Fairgrounds, Southern Illinois. Race 16, stretch run of the 2024 season. Cruz has been out front, had built a lead of almost 10 seconds. But Sawalich And Perez and others perhaps are going to get one final crack at him. Or maybe more.
One more lap, and remember, in addition to try to win number 8 for William Sawalich, $20,000 bonus on the line here for William Sawalich.
Here are the wins for William Sawalich. It started back in the spring at Phoenix.
That started early. Then he does it on the road course at Mid-Ohio. Shows his versatility, gets a win on the short track in Berlin, Michigan. Just keeps it going, gets the high banked half mile of Salem, Indiana. He gets another win. And how about this finish at Elko? 3 wide across the line to get that win at his home race. And then dominated the race on dirt at Springfield. And he's not done. He's got one more at Milwaukee. Dominates that race as well. 7 wins and 10 starts on the season for William Sawalich.
Single file restart. When they come to the green flag, it'll be a 2-lap shootout. Cruz in front, followed by Sawalich, Perez, Scott, and Wright. Back under green, 2 to go at DuQuoin. A bump from behind from the 18 of Sawalich, trying to go underneath the 20. Side by side, almost trying to get to the left rear quarter panel is the 18, but Cruz able to jet out in front.
Nice job by Cruz. Got enough grip out there to get out in front of Sawalich. Now watch Perez trying to grab that second spot from Sawalich. Good battle for third, 3-way battle for third behind him.
Coming to the white, off turn 4. It's Cruz in front, had a fantastic restart. Does Sawalich have anything for him? Down the front stretch, white flag in the air, 1 to go at DuQuoin.
Remember, it's not over till we see the checkered flag.
Cruz, Sawalich, Perez. Brent Cruz has led every lap here tonight. Down the back stretch, the 20 car. Cruz second in this race a year ago. Looking to take home the checkers here tonight. Off the final turn. Brent Cruz in the 20 slides up the track, and Brent Cruz with Sawalich right there at the checkers. Brent Cruz takes it home here tonight at DuQuoin.
Hey, Sawalich gave it all he had there at the end, but just cannot take anything away from the job that Brent Cruz did with this Venturini team.
Cruz holds off Sawalich in a 2-lap shootout overtime here in Southern Illinois. We'll hear from the winner when we come back. Back here at DuQuoin, the 20 car, Brent Cruz. Complete domination tonight. Had to earn it with a 2-lap overtime shootout, and he did it in victory lane. Down to Heather.
And a big celebration here for him and his team. Brent Cruz taking home his 2nd career ARCA victory in just his 3rd start this season. Brent, we had a restart there with 5 to go. What went through your mind when you saw that caution come out?
I knew we were going to be all right. Just the Lord was guiding me and directing me there. I've been sick all week and had to race on Friday night too, so it's been a struggle, but just want to thank the good Lord above for keeping me safe throughout this week. And I just want to give a big thank you to Toyota Racing and JBL and everybody at Venturini Motorsports, Billy and Kevin for all they do for me and for bringing me this hot rod. I mean, y'all got to see how fast it was, and I'm just blessed to be able to drive it. So super cool to have my first race with JBL and be able to put in victory lane, and super cool to put Toyota there too. So looking forward to it, and looking forward to the next one, and excited to be here.
Let's talk about this dirt track for a second. It changed throughout the entire night. What was your approach to managing the track conditions this evening?
Just having a good guy on the roof. A good spotter, I think, is crucial. Just being able to tell me where everybody's at and coach me through lap time and stuff. And growing up on the dirt path, I think, was a big part of it as well, being able to race midgets and stuff like that. So that helped a lot, and I'm just grateful to be here.
Congratulations on a dominant performance tonight.
Brent Cruz led them all. William Sawalich was looking for 5 straight, comes up just short, but he had something there seemingly at the end. Pretty close at the checkered flag, Phil.
It was. I thought, you know, in the ARCA series, we do single file restarts on dirt in the last 10 laps, but William gave it everything he had, was just a couple car lengths behind at the very end. A great effort by Sawalich, and can't take anything away from his season too now. 7 wins and 11 starts, but it's a nice bounce back for the Venturinis. That's Billy right there holding the flag right next to Brent Cruz and his team. A well-deserved victory here.
3rd win for Venturini in 2024, to your point. 2nd win for the number 20 car. And again, runner-up last year. He wins it this year. Performance seed, dirt double results. William Sawalich, average finish 1.5, so he takes home the big check.
$7,500 for Sawalich, $5,000 for Kelly Kofsky, and $2,500 for Taylor Reimer.
So 4 races to go in the 2024 season here in the ARCA Menards Series. William Sawalich gonna have to try again next time as he chases for 10 wins. ARCA Racing returns to FS1 Friday, September 13th, 5 p.m. Eastern from Watkins Glen International. Up next, Kevin Harvick's Happy Hour with Jeff Burton. For the entire ARCA broadcast team, good night from DuQuoin, Illinois.